We're blessed to have a lot of voices that possess the remarkable ability to demonstrate a sense of clarity during these difficult times. Last night, the president was in Georgia, a big campaign rally for David Loeffler and Kelly Perdue. It's a big day. Georgia can hold the line. Georgia can prevent Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, a pair of far-left radical Democrats, from being elected in this runoff and giving majority control of the U.S. Senate to the Democrats. Mark Davis is my dear friend and colleague from Dallas. He's the morning host on 660 AM The Answer. He wrote a great piece at TownHall.com, which we've posted at MikeOnline.com. As the Electoral Challenge approaches, dishonesty abounds on both sides, the article says. To hear the narratives right, I mean, there's these panicked claims from Mitt Romney and his, pearl-clutching hysteria. Oh, it's a threat on our very republic. It's all coming. No, it's not. No, it's not. As Mark points out, the members of the House and Senate who will rise to object to the acceptance of the electoral votes from some states are speaking for millions of Americans who have absorbed an election fraught with irregularities, rule changes, slipshod security, inadequate scrutiny, and laws contorted at the last minute, often with the excuse of COVID-based necessity. That's all the Josh Hawleys of the world are doing. Mark nails it. Let me repeat one of the most important lines from this splendid TownHall.com article by Mark Davis. The members of the House and Senate who will rise to object to the acceptance of the electoral vote from some states are speaking for millions of voters who have absorbed an election fraught with irregularities, rule changes, slipshod security, inadequate scrutiny, and laws contorted at the last minute, often with the excuse of COVID-based necessity. Now, I am very much a proponent of people having a right to any conclusion you want to get to. I've argued for years, you're allowed to go against the grain in America. Tom Cotton is allowed to come to the conclusion he's come to. And I don't know that Tom Cotton should be out of work because he doesn't agree with Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley. I just don't. I don't know that Tom Cotton has a nefarious agenda here, but there definitely is a disagreement among Republicans. As Mark writes at Town Hall, some Republican leaders have couched the challenges as a dangerous violation of federalism. That's Representative Chip Roy of Texas. Tom Cotton, who says that essentially this challenge usurps the state's rights to send electors of their choice. And as Mark points out, Senator Cotton seems wholly unaware of the law when he states that Congress's power is limited to counting electoral votes submitted by the states. And as Mark points out, I mean, you got to have a little bit of a civics lesson to know what's at stake. It's kind of simple. Congress is playing the role that Congress plays. The members, this is real simple. The 12th Amendment requires a joint meeting of Congress to validate the electoral count. Objections are permitted at that time following the process that was established by the Electoral Count Act of 1887. Objections are received. If objections are received, and they will be, the joint session recesses to allow 2 hours of debate in the respective houses, limited to 2 hours. An objection must win the approval of a majority of both houses in order for any contested electoral votes to be excluded. Now, members of the House and Senate are going to vote. Why all the hysteria? Why is there such hysteria over Republicans like Ted Cruz, or Josh Hawley or David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler objecting to these votes. Here's what Mark Davis writes, and I'm wondering if you agree or disagree with his conclusion. I'd like to find out as you join me here on this Tuesday episode of The Mike Gallagher Show, January 5th, 2021. Thank the Lord we're finally done with 2020. Mark says Republican motivations may range from the Trump hatred of Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse to the insecurities of those who feel the need to malign their bolder colleagues. Whatever their rationales, they are unforced errors, he says. Most Trump voters will understand that not every Republican will take up the sword of electoral battle, but those who have mysteriously chosen to condemn the effort may be answering for that choice for a long time. I'm told, I didn't hear the entire interview, William Timmons, who's I think a representative out of South Carolina that is on with my buddy Joey Hudson every morning in South Carolina. I understand that Congressman Timmons, I believe, said that it's useless tomorrow to vote against the electoral votes. Nothing can be done to change the outcome, and people get angry at that. And rightfully so. What's gained by saying that? That's like saying when Trump came down that golden escalator, there's no chance he can win. And he did. That's like saying Trump can't be on the campaign trail when he's sick with COVID. And he did. This guy has pushed through everything that's been thrown at him. And yes, he's fighting right now. What's the point in a Republican saying, well, there's no point, there's no use, there's no need to object? Why? What are you trying to accomplish? I mean, I'm really mystified by it. It's a little bit like a number of the calls we've gotten in the last few weeks that I have swatted away. Oh, there's no point in voting for Loeffler and Perdue. What's the point? What's the point in saying what's the point, I guess, is my question. Can you answer it for me? Let's try. 1-800-655-MIKE.